What the fuck is an off angle? In Counter-Strike, you'll always hear me talking about textbook CS and how you're supposed to position yourself and what angles to take and what engagements that you're supposed to take. For example, at the A bomb site, you'll want to use boxes as cover, where you can peek from the right side and left side of the box and use this box to keep yourself alive for a really long period of time and control the engagements. Default box works, try box works. Or you'll want to play in a position where if you're pressured, you're able to fall back and wait for, you'll do a retake with your team. So a place like CT spawn is good because if you get pressured, if you get pushed off, if you get smoked out, you can fall back and you can wait for your teammates to come, you can do a retake together. Also, CT spawn's a good position because you have this toll booth that you can play behind and use as cover. So these are common angles to take. An off angle is an uncommon angle to take. It's a riskier position to be in, but it's designed to catch your opponents off guard. And you want to be careful when using off angles. You don't want to keep relying on using off angles because that's when it becomes a common angle. That's when the repetition, your opponent's going to catch on knowing that you're just playing these weird angles and they're going to be expecting you to be doing this. So it's something that you do every now and then, randomly, to make a play in the round. An example of that on A bomb site, for example, would be in this corner here. You're kind of in the middle of the site. You're not directly behind cover, you're not behind the try box, you're not behind the default box, you're not in CT spawn. If you need to fall back, you're going to expose your body to connector, to A ramp, and palace ult at the same time, so you don't have anywhere to fall back. And if the enemies do push up, you don't really have the boxes as cover because their boxes aren't close to you. If I'm close to the box at default, for example, I can now use this box and kind of weave around it and play Ring Around the Rosie. If I'm playing all the way back in the site here, I can't do the same thing with this box. I'll need to run forwards to the box. And that extra 1 to 2 seconds it takes me to travel to that box is when an enemy can come up and kill me. So an off angle is a way to kind of surprise an enemy and kill them when they're unsuspecting of you. So if I'm a terrorist and I'm coming up A ramp, and I have my trusty little AK, I'm going to be coming up, I'm going to be staring at CT spawn. Once that's clear and try box is clear, I'm going to flick over to the left and look at firebox and under balcony and everything. I'm not going to be checking this area. This isn't a weird angle to be. I'm not expecting anyone to be here. Or I'm running up here and I'm jumping up like this. I'm not expecting anyone to be in this area whatsoever. Because it's a really weird angle that's being. I'm not behind any cover at all. So it's a really off angle and you can usually surprise enemies by this. But this is beginning to be a really common spot for counter-terrorists to take. What's an example of that as a terrorist? Well, okay, if I'm coming up mid as a terrorist, and I smoke off the window, I'm basically forcing the counter-terrorist who's opping mid to do one of two things, generally speaking. One of them would be to just come through CT spawn, run all the way around, and play CT spawn. The other thing, though, is they would just say to themselves, okay, you know what? I'm just going to go and I'm going to clear connector and going to hold connector in mid from near stairs and jungle area. So, as a CT opper, my instinct would be to come here and clear this angle. Well, I see bot nade over here in the corner. This is a common angle for a terrorist to be at. I'm going to get the kill on bot nade. But if I'm a counter-terrorist and I get the kill here or I peek here and there's nothing going on, I'm going to start running up. I'm going to clear apartments or palace, whatever you call it, on the way over. And then I'm going to swing around and peek cat and mid. Well, if I'm playing an off angle as a terrorist, and I've just forced the counter-terrorist to rotate to jungle, and I'm able to get into connector, I'm going to play right here. The counter-terrorist is going to expect me to be where bot nade is currently, and they're not going to expect anyone to be up here or just at a random angle. No counter-terrorist is going to peek around the corner and peek like this. It just doesn't happen. No one's going to be expecting me to be in this position. They're going to come around, they're going to clear palace, and they're going to come and peek like that. They're not going to expect me to just be standing here at an off angle. So it's a way for me to surprise my opponent in a 1 versus 1 engagement, get that extra surprise time to buy myself that little bit of time to get that kill and ensure the kill, and then it makes a play for my team for the round. It helps my team win the round. But it's a very risky play, so you don't want to keep utilizing this because the enemy team can catch on. Besides the enemy catching on, enemy team catching on to what I'm doing here, it's still a risky play. I'm basically hoping that they come around and they're not really expecting me in this corner. By them not expecting me to be here, I'm buying myself, a couple hundred milliseconds, if that, of time for me to ensure that I get the kill on the enemy before they react to me and flick over and adjust their aim and kill me. So being at an off angle, it's not guaranteeing you the kill. It's buying yourself an extra 1 to 2 to between 1 and 500 milliseconds of time to kind of get that kill. Beyond that, you're out of luck. If you can't get that kill in that amount of time, you're in a bad position. It's not a good position to be in. If there are multiple opponents coming at you, let's say 2 players are coming at me from jungle and I'm at this off angle, I'll kill one of them before I get traded. There's no way for me to control this engagement beyond that first kill. So it's very good to use off angles to catch a player off guard in a 1 versus 1 engagement. Beyond that, it's a very risky position to be in because you're not playing a standard angle, you're not playing behind cover, and you don't have places to fall back from. So it's a very risky play to make. I hope that's helped you guys. An example of an off angle would be on cache, for example, as a terrorist holding a post plant. If I'm a counter terrorist and I'm retaking the B bomb site, I need to come in, I need to clear close right, I need to check close left for these angles here, and then after that I'm going to swing back around and I'm going to look over towards site and clear out the bomb site. When I'm doing all of this, I'm not paying attention to anybody who's at this angle. This is a very weird angle for a terrorist to be at because they can get pinched from vents, from B main, and it doesn't make sense for an enemy to be at this position. So as a counter terrorist, I'm not really paying attention to anyone here. I'm gonna maybe take a gander here, but if I don't see anyone, I need to clear out the bomb site. This is my first priority as a CT. So if I'm a terrorist and I'm holding this angle here, this is a very good off angle to take because the counter terrorists don't really expect me to be here. They run in and I'm able to shoot them in the side. Furthermore, on top of this being an off angle, I'm in a very good position to peek off of my teammates' contact. So if my teammates are making contact with the enemies and they call out the positions, I'm in a very good position where I can peek out and kill spawn or heaven, both from one angle. Just one fluid motion, I can clear both angles, or I can turn around and help with the vents or the beam main flank. So I'm in a great position here to play the actual post plant, but I'm also in a very off angle to control the CT push and retake into the bomb site.